Have you ever wondered why your handwriting has suddenly gotten smaller? Or why something as simple as turning feels like shifting the weight of a truck instead of your own body? Why you sometimes feel tired before you've even started moving, like the energy is gone before the day even begins. In the Parkinson's world, I keep hearing the same message. Exercise is good, and sure it is. But that's not the full story. If we stop at exercise, we're missing the deeper layers of what actually drives movement, motivation, and fatigue in Parkinson's. When you look at this condition through the lens of perception and neuroeconomics, you will start to see a powerful truth. Your brain is always under a constant state of decision making. Every single movement you make has a cost. And the Parkinsonian brain, because of the way dopamine modulates effort and reward, tends to inflate that cost. So when something feels too expensive biomechanically, your brain will automatically look for a cheaper way to do it. Think of it like the path of least resistance. Let's take handwriting. If your brain decides that moving the whole arm is too costly, it'll default to using smaller joints, primarily the dip joint. This is this little joint in your fingers. That is how you end up with micrographia, tiny cramped handwriting that almost looks like it's collapsing in on itself. Okay, so if I try to write at that joint, of course I'm going to write small. But now imagine if you brought the larger joints back, joints in the fingers, the middle knuckles, the wrist, even the shoulder. Suddenly the movement becomes layered, fluid, and more sustainable. The same thing happens with turning. Turning in space is expensive. It requires the pelvis to rotate, the trunk to stabilize, and the whole body to coordinate across multiple planes. So what does the brain do? It shortcuts the movement. It executes the turn at these little joints, the ankles. But turning from your ankles does not create flow. It creates rigidity and instability. Now let's tie that same logic to fatigue. If your brain is constantly evaluating effort versus reward and dopamine levels dip, it starts making predictions about what's too costly before you even begin. That means you can feel tired, not because you've exhausted yourself, but because your brain has predicted that the task will be too expensive. That prediction creates a sense of fatigue before any real effort happens. And over time, that prediction becomes a belief. I can't do this. And once you believe movement is costly or unsafe, you do less of it. That non use becomes data that your brain uses to confirm that its original prediction was right, even though it wasn't. This is the self reinforcing loop we can actually hijack and rewire through perception based rehab. And here's the problem, none of this is being taught because if you're just exercising, but you're doing it inside the same neurological constraint, the same pattern where your brain is still controlling movement at the level of those tiny little joints, then all you're doing is reinforcing the compensation. You're keeping the same distorted cost map alive. The Parkinson's world right now is far too narrow. The message is the same everywhere. Exercise is good. Just get moving, do what you love. But that's not a strategy, it's a slogan. There's an entire universe of neuroscience, psychology, neuroeconomics that should be shaping how we drive behavior change in Parkinson's. Because at its core, this isn't just about movement, it's about decision making, effort perception, and belief recalibration. If we're not teaching people how to shift their perception, how to rewire the brain's cost reward algorithm that's been altered by dopamine loss, then we're not treating Parkinson's. We're just working around it. And that is not good enough anymore. It's time to teach the brain to move differently, to think differently, and to decide differently. And that is where real change begins. There is a different and better way forward, one where you're not just managing Parkinson's, but you're rewiring it from the inside out. Click the link to see how you can start that process today.